Welcome to another week of Katawa Shoujo. My name is Nux, and I hope you can hear me. My settings have been changed a little bit. My mic has moved around. It's a bit of a hectic week. But it doesn't have to be hectic anymore, because we're back with Shizune. So, I don't remember what happened last time. Oh, we're actually on Shizune's route now. We were in the festival last time. That's right, I had to replay that section. Which was fun. I really liked that cutscene. I thought it was very cute, but it seemed a little sad because Misha, leaving at the end there. That was a little depressing. So yeah, I'm really excited to get into this one. So let's see what happens. The next morning, I recall what a perfect night last night was. Ooh, so much so that I can't stop thinking about it. He actually seems excited. It's probably not the most appropriate time to reminisce, but I have a test first period. Actually, he straight up said that he's in love with Shizune, right? Or he said I might love her or something. I don't remember the exact words, but he didn't feel anywhere close to that to Rin until mid-episode 3, mid-episode 2, whenever he confessed. And then he didn't feel anything for Hanako until the end, which is kind of crazy. Whenever we were talking to the purple-haired girl, we had to admit to ourselves that we liked her. Which, again, nowhere near Act 1, so that's crazy. It's so unfair. How could they do this? They hold a festival that is the accumulation of what has to be at least a few weeks' worth of work on a Sunday, and then follow up with exams starting the very next morning. It's gotta be some kind of sick joke. Not too worried about it, but I wonder if they really couldn't have held off this for another week. Well, at least the weather this morning is nice enough that I could study outside before class. That's pretty good. It's a lot more refreshing out here than it would be in the classroom, not to mention how quiet it is. I'm starting to think that everyone else will be sleeping in pretty late today. I put down the notes I'm reviewing for a second and stare out the school grounds, still littered with festival stalls. Looking at them now in the daytime, without paper lanterns or crowds of people to draw my attention away from them, I noticed something peculiar. A lot of the stalls that Shizune, Misha, and I visited last night also happen to be the ones that we worked on. That's cute. Did Shizune come up with this? It has to be intentional, especially knowing her. Did she hope that I would catch on and see the fruit of our labors? Nope, she's just chilling here. I hear footsteps crunching in the grass behind me and turn around. I feel slightly paranoid, but all I find is Shizune standing there with an innocuous look on her face. Good morning. She can't hear you. Can't forget this, she can't hear me. It's probably because I've gotten so used to Misha translating for both of us that I actually haven't had to run into many situations where I was forced to acknowledge Shizune's deafness and the problems that could stem from it. I think yesterday was the first. I give her a wave anyway. I can do at least this much, but I'm not even going to pretend for a minute that I could hold up a conversation with her, considering my ignorance of sign language. Would it be rude to just go back to my notes? I don't really know what else I could do. You show her your notes, you point, and you go, I'm doing this. I need to do this. Where's Misha? Not just because I can't understand you. You two are always together anyway, so I'm not used to seeing you apart. You do fake sign language. You go you bubble and then bubble. Sorry. I'm a conversationalist, bro. I know it's silly, but for some reason talking to her makes me feel less awkward. Surprisingly, she doesn't get mad at all. She starts signing, but it's different than usual. Shizune's hands move more slowly, and the gestures are simpler. I quickly realize that this isn't sign language at all, but she's attempting to communicate with me. So this is the sign language equivalent of breaking it down in layman's terms. I'm terrified that if I attempt to gesticulate back, I just look like a total dumbass. The look on Shizune's face tells me that she's starting to think that trying to have any kind of back and forth like this is not exactly the best way to accomplish things. We have paper in our hands. Write a note. There has to be a better way. Writing on a pad? Well, I do have paper and pencil. What else, though? Cell phones. I don't really have much use for mine here, so I barely carry it around. I don't know if Shizune even has one. I don't know when we got Shizune and Misha's number in Hanako's route, but yeah, we had it. She takes the initiative, holding up a finger to ask for a pause before pulling out a pad and pen from her bag and writing a single word on it. Hello. I stare blankly at her and receive a similar but somehow more intimidating stare in response. She nudges the pad in my direction forcefully, clearly wanting me to reply. Good morning. Is that us saying good morning? Probably. It is the same color pen. Shizune beams with a disproportionate amount of happiness. She starts twirling her pen triumphantly as she starts to think about where to go from here. Oh, come on, it's not like we just invented fire. Shizune pushes up her glasses curtly, as if she heard me, and then starts writing at a furious pace. Use the notepad. Right. I'm confused. Am I supposed to take it from her to write okay now? This is about the furthest thing I could imagine from a smooth flowing conversation. Makes me envy with the ease with which Misha is able to communicate with Shizune. Are you studying for the test? Pretty sure I can get away with answering a simple yes or no questions like this with nods. You're here very early. Most people sleep in late after the festival. That means you are abnormal. Is that so? You're here too. Before handing the response back to her, though, I remember what I'd noticed earlier and add, yesterday was fun. I noticed today that I built a lot of those stalls that we went to. Maybe that's why they were so familiar. Is this another game? She shakes her head from side to side indignantly. No tricks. I thought that because you had made those stalls, they were the most important ones. We had to visit them, because everyone should be able to appreciate the fruits of their labors. I wanted you to be able to see and enjoy what you had done. I'm sort of touched. Still, I have to wonder why she would go out of her way. I asked as much in my response. Because you were depressed. Everybody thinks we're depressed. Everyone just sees it on our face. The music stopped too. Jeez. I want to say that I was depressed for days, but stop. What? Maybe stopped. It's true. I was moping quite a bit, and not being too subtle about it half the time either, but so it's possible that she knew. Was everything she did just to cheer me up then? Thanks. I mumble it before I can catch myself, but Shizune doesn't seem to care. I write it down instead, and she nods once, as if unused to it. I mumble it before I can catch myself, but Shizune doesn't seem to care. I write it down instead. She nods once, as if unused to it. The silence between us grows more vast with each passing second, and there's nothing I can do to break it. Why are you... I know you... I get maybe you're worried about the silence between you and Hanako, and maybe the silence between you and Rin, that's a little bit weirder, but that's fine, because maybe you two, she's in a different world. Shizune can't speak. There is nothing but silence. Even when you're writing down on pen and paper, there's no words being exchanged, my man. Anyway, having to write everything down on paper kind of destroys any hope of trying to be casual. It's casual, just pretend you're like passing notes in class. Good luck on the exam. Shizune pushes the pad right in front of my eyes, breaking my concentration, taking the initiative again, as always. As she walks into the school building, I can't help but feeling a little sad. That felt like the longest 20 minutes of my life. That was 20 minutes. And all because it's so alien to me to have face-to-face conversation with somebody by passing notes to each other. I can't help but coming up blank most of the time. Makes me want to learn sign language. It's easier said than done, although in a school like Yamaku, they might very well have sign language classes. In that case, that would be a little reason not to pursue this. The only person I can think of to ask at the moment is Misha. How badly do I want to know this? There's two options. Wait until after class, or go look for her now. I guess I'll go now. You can study for your test. Shizune will be there after the test, my guy. But I'm not certain where she is. My best bet would be to start searching for her in the girls' dorm, though. After all, if it wasn't with Shizune, it's probably the only place she would be. I feel like they would walk to class together if Misha wasn't, like, sick or something. Guy casually prowling around the girls' dorm early in the morning is unacceptable, but asking Misha about sign language classes in front of Shizune would just be unthinkable. She has to come to school sometime. After all, we're in the same class, so she too has to take this test. If I wait here, I'll be sure to see her sooner or later. I just hope she doesn't walk past me while I'm flipping through my notes. Turns out to be a pretty long wait. As students file into the school, I wonder if Misha's going to be late. Eventually, I catch sight of her. I guess she's just a morning person. Misha's totally not, but whatever. Eventually, I catch sight of her while she bounces across the grounds. It hits me that I'd have to be blind to miss her with the incredibly distinctive hair. Hi, Hichan. Good morning. Good morning. I don't have a lot of time left before class starts, so I cut directly to the chase. Hey, can I ask you a question? A question? Okay, Hichan. Sure. I have time, but only because I'm late. What does that mean? I should have woken up earlier, but I was so tired. If I had, I would have come to study, but since I didn't, it won't hurt. What is it, Hichan? Well, there's this. Is there. God, are there sign language classes here? Right? Yep, they're electives. Why do you want to know, Hichan? For some reason, that question briefly makes me panic. No reason. Sounds interesting, but I guess it's too late to sign up now, right? Is that a pun? Not exactly being too subtle here, but Misha never seems to pick up on things like that anyway, so I'm probably being more cautious than is necessary. Well, Hichan, I've heard there are fewer and fewer students taking sign language every year, so if you want to, I'm sure they will let you in. Are you thinking of learning sign language, Hichan? Yeah. If you learn sign language, Hichan, that would make Hichan really happy. If you want, we can go to the teacher's office after school. They'll probably let you in. That would be great. Don't tell Shizune that I want to learn it, though. Why not? So it could be a surprise. Besides, it'll look bad if you tell her that this morning, and I find out in the afternoon that I can't take the classes. Aw, you're right, Hichan. Still, that will be hard. Such good news. I'm in the student council, so I might as well try learning it, even if it's just the basics. It'd be a step up from nothing. Besides, Shizune and I can't keep relaying everything through you as if you were a phone or something, right? Thoughts? Silence. You're right, Hichan. The bell rings to signal the start of the first period, cutting our conversation short. I guess I'll ask the teacher after classes are through. The reaction was a little strange, but I forget about it as the days go on. As the day goes on. Okay. I wonder if she's already thinking like, oh no, they're already getting like cozy. If he's gonna learn sign language, then I won't have a reason to be here. We have coffee today, boys. The bell rings, and the teacher at the front of the room gestures that classes are over for the day. Although getting into this class was surprisingly easy, it will only be a few days, and I'm still not used to the experience. Oh, so it has been a couple days. Okay. The actual signing is easier to pick up than I expected, but most of my classmates are hard of hearing. On top of that, the teacher favors immersion. I haven't heard her speak since I asked if I could take the class. It's an alien concept, and really unnerving. The moment I step out of the classroom, I hear a familiar laugh explode through the air, short distance to my left. Hi, Hichan. Misha's not in my sign language class, so this is the first time I've seen her in this context. Still don't know whether her not being in my class is good or bad. It would be more interesting with her in it, but the potential for awkward situations would increase drastically. Hi. It's a surprise to see you, Hichan. Oh, that's right, you're taking sign language, aren't you? Right? What do you think so far, Hichan? It's not as easy to learn a new language, but I think I'm getting the hang of it. It's not easy to learn a new language, but I think I'm getting the hang of it. Despite how different it is from other languages, it's still easier than English. Really, Hichan? I agree. I was just joking, but she's apparently totally serious. I wonder how Misha can effortlessly translate things to me while simultaneously having a conversation with Shizune in a different language like she does. Until now, I've taken for granted how amazing it is. Someone bumps into my shoulder and apologizes. It's kind of getting crowded here, what with being end of the day and all. I think we should talk somewhere else instead of the hallway. Let's go to the roof or something. Okay. Where's Shizune? Are we just going to leave her somewhere? What the fuck? I decide to continue talking on the way. It's surprisingly quiet enough to carry on a conversation while doing so. It's still taking me some time to get used to having to look at the teacher constantly. I guess I took all those years of simply listening to the lectures while I doodled for granted. Makes taking notes a lot more difficult, too. The introductory class is small, and I'm already behind. Guess I have a lot of stuff to do. Yeah, this is much better. I turn around to look back at Misha and see her staring at me with her hands on her hips and her cheeks puffed outwards. Hey-chan, you're behind? That's not good at all. We came in halfway through the fucking class. It's been months. We are learning lesson like 30 right now. Oh, week. Sorry, I don't know why I thought it was so much later. Why is the festival... No, okay. Don't say a week later than everyone else. You've been here a week. The year did not start a week ago. Right? We came in through the middle of the class. Like, there's no way that, like... Class has only been going on for a week. There's no way that they would put, like, a festival that took on a week. Or, like, 2 weeks, or whatever they said. We came into the middle of, like, the festival prep. That means that the school year definitely been going on before then. I don't know why I'm freaking out about this. Okay, Chan, let's review what you've learned. Then I'll tutor you, okay? This is the first time I've heard I'll tutor you outside of dirty movies. I'm not nearly as turned on as I had expected. I don't know if I need a tutor yet. Yeah. She looks more disappointed than usual. Makes me feel awkward to see her making that kind of face. I want to be a sign language teacher, Hichan. But it would be really great if I could try tutoring someone on it first. Even if it's just for a little while, the experience would be valuable. Well, yeah, that's true. I didn't know you wanted to be a sign language teacher. It's hard to believe that she isn't intentionally trying to make me feel guilty, because she's very good at it. Still, it makes sense. She's very good at sign language already from what I've seen, and certainly has the voice for dealing with the hearing impaired. I never saw her as the teaching type, though. It's the reason why I wanted to go to this school, Hichan. It's also really expensive to attend here, you know, because I want to be a sign language teacher. I have reduced tuition fees. If it wasn't for that, I don't know if I'd be able to keep going here. Is that why she doesn't have anything wrong? She just wanted to be a teacher? I see. It's not that I think you'd be bad at tutoring. It's just that I don't know if I need it just yet. You're right, Hichan. You're smart. Well, no. It just makes me sound ignorant. Alright, please tutor me. Really? Okay. Yay, thanks, Hichan. I'll do my best. Let's start right now. Too soon. She's so sad. I miss Hichan. Didn't you just see her this morning? But it's hard to talk to her in class, Hichan. There's no student council today either. Well, there have been exams all week, and I'd be kind of mad if there was still a student council. I'll be glad when they're over. But it's back. You're not going to skip out, right, Hichan? Of course. I'm in it after all. Don't worry. I'm not going to go just suddenly stop showing up. Promise is a promise. Misha pauses for a second, not looking very convinced. Hichan takes the student council very seriously, Hichan. Now that you've joined, she works harder than before, since she wants to make a good impression. Some other people joined at first, but they stopped coming soon after. Hichan tried to get more people interested in the student council, but it wasn't successful. Even when someone would join, they would stop coming eventually. They make excuses and just put it off more and more until they stop coming altogether. However, I believe that you really mean it, Hichan. My eyes stay focused on her hands, tilting and moving almost at their own free will, softly signing everything that she's saying to herself as she speaks. When you said you would join, she was really happy. Hichan thinks that you're interesting, Hichan. An uninteresting person won't have the drive needed to join. Even if they do, a person that isn't interesting will quit soon after. That's what Hichan said. So, it's my duty to make sure you keep going. Is that why you want to tutor me? You're kind of sneaky. Really, Hichan? This is the first time anyone said that about me. There's no chance that I would avoid the student council work now. Thinking back over the past few days, I started to realize that the only reason why I joined in the first place was because of Shizune. Her competitiveness and force of will are alluring. I can't tell Misha that, though. Okay, Hichan, let's review what you learned in class today. You don't even know what I learned in class today. You're right, Hichan. Let's start with the basics then. I'll just teach you everything from the beginning. You're kidding, right? You're serious. It's like days of lessons, and we're not even learning on the same level. It's like riding a bike, Hichan. You never forget the basics. I don't know how to ride a bike, though. Oh, no. Right.
I want to be a teacher one day, so of course I know what I'm doing. Okay. We're starting. Uh,
She looks like she's trying very hard, so this can't be bad. Well, learning a language is vastly different from teaching it, and the first step is usually the hardest part. Honestly, I couldn't do any better. Still.
Sign language was formally introduced in the 18th century by a Frenchman named, whose name I can't pronounce, and who started the first public school for the deaf in 1755. But the unwritten history of sign language is said to, I don't really know where to start. Sorry. Well, what a better place to learn than to start the history of what? What better place to start than the history of sign language, right? Right?
No.
Wait, maybe the alphabet. Okay, the alphabet it is then.
Okay, see, I feel like that's a lot easier, yeah. You didn't learn about the history of English when you were learning how to speak.
Okay, Hichan. This is pretty basic stuff, although some people think that this is all of signing and forget that there are all kinds of specific gestures and words. Although you can't really get anywhere else without the basics, this is A. Do you see it? Now you try it.
I remember actually, we learned the sign language alphabet in like first grade, I think it was, for some reason. I don't remember any of it. I just remember like D and like that was it. But obviously everybody knows like D. Right? Is that maybe I'm even wrong, but like I remember learning the alphabet like A through Z in kindergarten or first grade. And I don't remember any of it. It was just funny that we did that for a day.
Although you can't really get anywhere else without the basics, this is A.
I already know this though. I humor her anyway.
Yeah, that's it. Now this is B, and this is C.
Nisha makes one symbol with each hand without specifying which is which.
And now D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, X, Y, and Z.
Yeah, this is bad. Do you think Shizune wants to do some student council work today anyway? We could go.
Of course not, Hichan. Come on, I'll do it again. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K. Your turn.
So there's really no student council work that needs doing or anything like that?
What are you talking about, Hichan? Come on, sign. Sign.
Like this?
No, like this.
Like
This.
uh-huh.
I wish Hichan was here. This would be so much easier with her. That's how sign language is taught most of the time anyway. 2 instructors. Did you know that, Hichan?
Oh. I let my brain run through what this would be if Shizune was here.
Hichan, are you paying attention?
Yeah.
Hichan says that sign language is different from any other because you have to think about everything before you say it. That means every word has more weight, Hichan. Every single one is more important than normal. So pay attention, please.
She continues her basic rundown of the basics of sign language. Eventually, she starts talking about stuff I start to recognize. In the end, I'm impressed. Took a bit of stumbling to get there, but as a teacher, she's pretty good when she's serious. Okay, then we've been here for a while. After a while, alright, cool. After a while, I start to notice that it's getting late, so I thank Misha, bid her goodbye, and go back to my dorm. From the roof? You're just gonna say goodbye and go to your dorm from the roof and not walk down to the dorms together and split off like they do? That's strange. I learned a lot today. Okay. That was a weird... Yeah, alright.